Hello and welcome to the Instant Impact Event Show. I'm Cheryl Williams.
I'm CJ Williams. Thank you for being here.
Yes, welcome guys. We're happy to have you here today.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful,
wonderful day out.
Spring day out there.
Yes,
and
the whole weekend was great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys celebrate Easter or Passover or just had a wonderful spring day, but we definitely had a great eventful.
The kids had fun.
Yeah, they did. And that's one thing before we jump into today's topic that we love is just making little things more of like family events. You know, we've been in the event industry for a long time and we have a lot of corporate type of events or business events, but it's fun just to have little mini events at home too.
Just even the kids opening the doors and coming out and like,
just the smile on their face.
Having the camera ready.
Or to hear the sheer joy, you know, exhilaration of the laughs and
we love
good
it.
time. So.
And they love it.
Yeah, we're certain you guys had a wonderful a weekend. And today's topic that we are going to discuss is rehearse, review, revise.
Yes.
And what we mean by this is, you know, the more that you speak, the better you get at it, right?
Yep.
And so maybe
repetition.
Just like in anything, you know, the more you do something, the better you get. When you first start out, you might not be that great. And that's okay. It's something that you can learn. It's definitely a skill that you can develop over time.
And get better, different techniques.
But the only way to get out there and do it is by doing, right? If you're just like, I'm not very good of a speaker, so I'm just not going to speak, well, you're not going to ever enhance your skills in that area or aspect.
No, the mirror, you got to get past the mirror and the hairbrush. And actually get out there.
You gotta get into it. You gotta be going and speaking and, you know, getting that feedback, but also just learning your speaking style. What do you like to speak on? And that's the other thing too, is you've got to figure out what are you speaking on, right? And the more passionate you are about what you're speaking on, the easier it is to be able to continue to speak. The easier it is to be able to be excited about that and want to speak about it. If you're attempting to just speak about something that you don't really care about, that can be a bigger challenge.
Right, and you can know what parts they want to learn. Because there might be some boring parts, there might be some exciting parts, the parts that get you excited. The parts that get you excited, go ahead and speak on that because you will be excited while you're speaking.
And
that makes sense,
in a roundabout way.
Yes.
It was a word jumble to really get to basically
around.
The more you enjoy what you do, the easier it is to speak about it. If you think about what have you been speaking on and what are you speaking about, it does make it that much easier to then turn around and say, okay, if it's something, if you're just told speak on this and you're just like,
how about George over there?
Okay, not me today, right? Someone else. Versus when you're speaking on something that you enjoy, something that you love, something that you're the expert in, something that you have knowledge and experience and expertise, it makes it easier for you to do that.
A lot.
But when it comes back to rehearse, review, revise, you've got to get up and you've got to just be doing, right? Just like in any environment, the more you rehearse, the better you're going to get. But also not just like you said, rehearsing in front of the mirror, you got to rehearse in front of people, right?
Family first, kids
colleagues,
first.
The pets,
friends,
you know, however you want to.
The pets,
that's great.
Rover,
George, all those, you know, family, animals, pets, people. But then outside of that, you've got to eventually step outside of the friendlies, right? The people who are going to say, "Oh, great job,"
and people that don't know you.
When you knew you did a shitty job, right? You did, but they're gonna give you a thumbs up. They're gonna cheer you on. They're gonna smile and nod and wave.
Yes. Make sure you record yourself doing that too.
Yeah.
Because you can learn from that.
That's a good point. When you are learning, you are your worst critic, right? So if you can get up and you can stand in front of the camera and you can record yourself, you're going to see things that you don't even know that you're doing. Maybe your hands
or
are
hear
doing
things
something.
That you're doing, like the ums
and the ands and the long pauses because you don't know what you're going to say next.
The pacing back and forth.
Hands in your pockets sometimes, or
or in your face,
or
behind your back,
covering up certain places. It doesn't look very good, or you know, maybe you have like a nervous tick that you do, or something along those lines. There's all these different things, but the more you can get in front of the camera and you can record yourself, that's half of it. But then you've got to actually watch it back
A lot.
and critique yourself, right?
And every time you record yourself, watch it again. And that tick you had, maybe you did it less the next time because you made sure you didn't do it again.
Maybe you weren't putting in those filler words. Maybe you weren't pacing around so much. Maybe you weren't looking off into space or,
Yes.
looking down or attempting to remember what you're going to talk
And that's a real
about.
big one.
Yeah.
Looking down. A lot of people, when they talk, to someone besides just one-on-one, you'll look down. And don't do that.
It's not a power position to be in. It
No.
really shows
Insecurity.
it does.
Yes.
And it just shows that you're not standing up there, shoulders
proud.
back, and ready to present your topic, right? If you're looking down, if you're kind of hunched, if you're in your little ball and bubble over here,
Right.
that's not evoking power.
Anything.
That's not
No.
evoking confidence. That's not evoking that you know what you're there to do and that you have an impact to create, right?
Yes.
So when you step foot on stage and you demand that confidence from yourself
Yes.
and others because of how you put your shoulders back, because of how you are addressing. You're looking at people as you're speaking to them. You're making pretty pictures. When you walk to one side of the stage, you stay there for a
Yes.
moment. You address, you acknowledge, then you can move
Yes.
on, right? We're not
Remember
just
that
pacing
too.
back and forth.
Pretty pictures. Because as soon as you stop, you're going to want to put yourself in a pose to continue talking
Yeah.
as if somebody was taking a picture of you.
Right. And it just reminds yourself that you want to address everyone in the room. You want to be over here and here and here. You want everyone to feel like you're talking to them individually, even though
Yes.
you're just talking to this side of the room, right?
Yes.
Or the front or the side. And yet, when you're just pacing back and forth, you just look like you're a nervous
Yes.
Nelly, right?
And then you're going to run out of energy, and then you're going to be huffing and puffing.
It happens.
Yeah.
Right? And so
And
the
then
more,
you're going to forget.
the more that you can control your environment, the more that you can say, look, I'm going to walk over here and I'm just going to step. I don't need to have a
Yes.
whole routine down. It doesn't have to be choreographed.
No.
However, you do need to know, go over here, stay there for a bit. Go over here, stay here for a bit. If you're going to be in the center and then never looking down at your shoes, even though they might be really pretty, you want to be out here addressing, looking at people individually, right?
Yes.
Find a friendly face and
Yep.
talk to them. And then find another friendly face
if it was your
and
mother.
talk to them. You
Yes.
want to have that conversation, and the best way to do that is you've got to get out there and you've got to do it, right? So you
Yep.
want to rehearse what you're going to be doing with
Yep.
yourself, with others. Then you got to start getting out there and getting on stages. You got to
Right.
start speaking. You got to start meeting and mingling and putting
Right.
yourself out there.
Yep.
Then you've got to revise. So then you've got to watch your footage back, or
And then change. Make all the changes you need to make
Right.
in your presentation.
because you've
And-
rehearsed it,
yes.
then you're reviewing, right? We've watched the footage back. We've figured out what are we doing well, what could be better and more improved.
Right.
What do I need to work on?
What didn't I add to my PowerPoint if you have one?
Yep. And then you revise it, right? And
Yes.
this is an ongoing thing. When we say revise, it means make changes. Take notes, make changes. And then when you go out there and speak again, the same thing. You're going to do it. You're going to speak.
Yep.
You're going to give your presentation. You're going to review it, right? What did we do well? What did, maybe you're having sales and you're like, wow, that was an off, I didn't do so great.
Yeah,
I need to
right.
watch that back. What did I do, right? And normally you find,
Yep,
I
that's
approached
right.
it this way, or
Yes.
I rushed it, right?
Right,
Or
especially when you're selling something.
or I didn't
Yes.
plant enough along the way, or
Yeah.
I didn't give enough
Yes.
value, or maybe you're just having an off day, right? And so you need to know, how can you still pick up the pieces?
Correct.
How can you still make it an effective presentation
Right, and slow down.
when you're having an off day? Because not
Yes.
everybody's on all the
Yeah.
time,
And
right?
you might need your pause. You might need to get yourself together for your next section before your sales, and get yourself back together, shake it up, walk it off, but not actually walk it,
Yeah.
not like that.
That-
but inside,
Yeah.
whew, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like, we were telling our son the other day, is like when he's doing archery, he was getting in his head sometimes about his shot. Maybe the one shot didn't go the way he wanted to, right? And instead of letting that progressively continue with the next shot and the next shot and the next shot, there's nothing you can do about the shot that's already done, right?
No.
You've got to let it go. Take
move
what
on.
you can get from it and then focus
Yes.
on the next one. Same thing for you when you're speaking. Maybe it didn't go as planned. Okay, there's nothing you can do about that.
Nope.
That's in the past.
It's done
right?
and over with.
That's left. That's gone. Now it's time to get on and do
Yes.
it again. What are you going to do differently this time? How are you going to be
Right.
present
And use
yourself?
that as a learning
Yep.
experience.
And everything is a learning experience. And
Yeah, no matter how good it is.
what's so awesome and amazing about speaking is it's you against you, right? Maybe you're wanting to see how effectively you can get through your presentation. Or maybe you're saying, hey, there's X amount of people in the room.
I'm going to make it shorter.
What sales I can get. Or,
Yes.
hey, there's how many people can I impact? How many people can come up to me today and say, wow, that really touched me. That really impacted me.
You need that one person.
You're setting a game against yourself a lot of times when you're speaking, and you know when you're on your A game, right? You know when you're firing on all cylinders, and you know when you're phoning it in, right? You know when it's just like, okay, I'm here. I'm like, hello, I'm here today, but I'm not really here. I'm just kind of, walking the dog, phoning it in. It's just going through the motions, you know what I mean? Versus when you have that all-star performance, you're like, okay, this is the one I want to live up to. And you know how you
and
feel.
then you're going to be better and better and better.
Because that's now your benchmark.
Routine.
That's now now we need to always get to here.
Now you know you can get there
further.
and go past it.
Yeah. And so what can you do to get out there more? What can you do to get on more stages or have more events or just
you don't need to charge
more?
Just say, hey, you have room for me? I only need 15 minutes.
Yep. And, maybe you want 15 minutes. Maybe you need 30. Maybe you put together your own event just to start getting yourself out there more, and it's an hour and a half. Okay.
Yes.
So what can you do before? What can you do in the middle? What can you do after? Break that up into some little mini sections.
Yes.
And go.
And bullets.
And when you can say, hey, come over, this evening or this weekend, or we're going to have a 2-hour event, or we're going to have a weekend event, or, we're going to have an evening, maybe you have a lunch event, right? So you're going to go to some luncheon and you're going to get up and speak. If you've never spoken before, take the opportunity for that 10 or 15 minutes, that 20 minutes, that face time of you getting up and addressing a group of people.
Yeah, there's a lot of meetings, meetup groups, and
there's
everything
all kinds.
Just for you.
There's all kinds of meetings. There's all kinds of meetups. There's all kinds of charity events. There's all kinds of men and women's and children's events. There's all kinds of stuff that you can be speaking up. You can be presenting your topic, your idea. Also, what industry are you in? How can you be serving that industry? Maybe you could be offering, some speaking,
and even advice.
Another thing you can do is at the library, most libraries have their own, meeting spaces. They're not very big, but you could, you can get 50 to 100 people in there and you're going to offer a free event for the community, right?
Yes.
And you're going to speak on your topic, whatever that is. And so you book the space at the library, and then you let people know, hey, come on down at this time of this date.
Or at the rec center for even where you live.
Yeah,
there might be a rec center there, and they have space that you can rent.
Yep. And so the more that you can get out there, the more that you can get those repetitions in, the more that you're going to get comfortable and confident. And that's what you're looking to build. Because, in order to put on a 2 or 3 day event, and you're the main speaker, right? You're not having people come in and out, and you got 100 different speakers coming in and out. If you are the speaker speaking your topic or having your event, you don't get to have a 3-day event by just going from nothing to something, right? The way that you do it is from your 15 minutes, from your 20 minutes, from your 30.
Yes, from somebody else who speaks on a similar subject than you, and that also can come in and fill in.
Yep. And so you get to where you want to go by taking those steps, right? And right now it's incremental, small steps are going to continue to get you to where you want to go. You're not going to just how do you eat an elephant? How do you climb a mountain?
Yes, one bite
step
at a time.
Or one bite at a time, right? And so how do you get out there and speak? How do you become a more effective speaker?
Make those calls, get out there, find out other speakers, always look for different events in your town or somewhere where you're going to be. If you're going to take a trip, maybe I'll go and speak on somebody's stage. Reach out to them and start talking to them ahead of time. And then you could break down and say, hey, I speak on this subject. If you need any help, I would love to come.
And you know what? Be honest with people too.
Yes.
If you say, hey, I want to get out there and speak more. I just haven't done a lot of that. And so I need as much face time as I can get right now. I need as much, stage time as I can. It's good. Would I be able to speak in front of your audience for 15, 20, and just provide value, right?
Yes.
Maybe I could have a 30-minute slot and just get up there and speak and provide value to your group of people that you have there. A lot of people they want to help people along, right?
They do.
Especially if you're coming from not a pompous place, from a humble place of, hey, this is something I need to improve on, and the only way to do it is by speaking.
Yes.
I'd love to come and offer some value to your attendees.
That's right. And you could have somebody else even help. Family could help looking for different events. I mean, there's so many events out there and places where you can speak. So just do the research.
And, again, what is your industry? Get into some of those niches that you can. There's lots of children's events or elderly events. And if you're just looking for FaceTime,
yes,
it doesn't really matter,
elderly
right?
Events.
They're always looking for someone to come in and
spend time with.
spend time with them,
Yes.
talk to them, communicate
Don't try to sell
with them. Not
Just
right
practice.
now. We'll get to that, right?
Yeah.
And right now, though, what you're working on is just getting your confidence up, getting your skill set up. The
Yes.
more you do it, the better you're going to get. The more that you rehearse, go through it, figure out, and then
revise.
review it. How can I do this better? What did I do well? What do I need to work on? And then you revise it.
Yep.
That's how you become a masterful speaker.
Right.
You
It
don't
could be
become
a
that overnight.
wardrobe also.
Yeah.
That might change. It's going to go from one way to another.
Yeah.
Because you realize that's not for that type of event or that subject.
Right. And, you could have, if you're just going to speak, if you go and speak on a baseball field, it's a different look than if you're going to speak,
Yes.
to a whole bunch of people who are, business people. Maybe they're accountants or lawyers or doctors. That's a different look than if you're going to
Right.
speak to, moms or dads or kids or there's a whole
varies.
gamut, right? And so you have to figure out what is your audience,
Yes.
what is your niche, what are you going to speak on,
Yes.
what are you passionate about, and right
And also
now,
your cadence too.
find the topic.
And also your cadence. Just practice on those little things.
And what do you mean by
might be-
cadence? You mean like speed?
When your speed of when you're taking your time, or you're going too fast, or you're trying to fit too much in this little section, and without taking a breath and get it all out.
And the more nervous you are,
You're gonna
the
be-
more and then you almost pass out because you didn't take a breath.
Yes.
It's like, okay.
Still with the clicker in hand.
It's like you're still going, and it's like you want it. You're gonna have to go through it, right? You're gonna
Yes.
have to get past that.
Yes.
That's okay, right?
Yes,
And then you can
and get
learn.
your happy speed.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
you know what? Just like when you're talking to someone, when you're having a conversation, you take a pause, you take a
Right.
breath, maybe you
You
take
could
a
ask
sip,
a question.
right? Yeah.
Somebody can have their hands raised up. If you need a minute, also you can have people raise their hands.
Yep.
And then now slow the pace down, and then it gets the audience involved.
It does. And that's a good point that, maybe you don't have a big topic to speak up. Maybe you're going to speak for 5 or 10 minutes, and then you open it up for Q&A. Because again, what is that getting you? That's getting you stage time. That's
Yes.
getting you a chance to be up there and be the expert.
That's getting you a record of all the questions.
Yeah, what questions people have. And then it's going to build confidence in you that they have questions, you have answers, right?
That's right.
And speaking
You
in
fulfill
front
those
of
answers,
someone, whether
yes.
you're answering a question in speaking or whether you're presenting a topic in speaking is speaking, right?
It is.
And speaking means you're
speaking
standing.
now.
We are.
Yes.
You're standing in front of somebody or sitting in front of somebody or in front of a screen, and you're working on talking. Speaking is
Yes.
talking. That's what you're doing.
Yep.
You're talking. You're providing value. You're spreading your
Information,
message.
yes.
You're giving information out. That's
Yep.
all speaking is. So
It
if you
is.
break it down to its simplest form, everybody
Yeah.
can speak
Everybody.
because everybody can talk.
Yes.
And even if you're not able to verbally talk, there's events for that too.
Yes.
There's sign language. There's all kinds. So
There
don't
is.
make an excuse and put yourself in a box and say, well, I can't do
No.
this because
No.
fill out the list, right?
Yes.
What you believe to be true is true for you.
Sure
and
is.
what you expect is going to happen. And so if you expect that you're going to be crappy, that no one's going to want to listen to you,
Yes.
no one's going to
That
show
energy,
up,
that's all is going to come out of you.
it's like a cloud, right?
Yeah,
and when you have a cloud over you, it's like you're raining
Yeah.
on your own parade.
Yes.
Versus if you open it up and say, you know what?
Yes.
I'm going to get better
learning
and
every
better all
day.
the time.
I'm learning every day.
I'm learning. I'm rehearsing, right?
Yes.
Then I'm gonna take that
yes.
and
And
I'm
then
gonna
you're gonna be
transform
ready.
that, and I'm gonna get better and better each time I do this. That is how you
Yes.
make an impact in your own
Yes.
speaking. So
Yes,
then you
and
can
in
turn
yourself.
around and make an impact to the people that you're speaking to
And
as
people
well.
will notice.
They will. And the more that you know, look, you have a message. You have a calling.
do.
You have something that people need from you. That's why you're here on this earth, right? And
Yes.
so don't hide your light and shine.
No. You
Open it
shine
up
your
so that you
light.
can shine your light to those who
Yes.
are meant to see
And
you
then
and
those
to hear you.
clouds will just disappear.
Right, and it makes you feel better because you know that you're not letting those limiting thoughts and beliefs and
Yes.
maybe
Or
some
people
stuff in the
or
past
negative people
or
around you.
yeah,
Yes.
don't let anyone else put
Say
you
you
down.
shouldn't be
say
doing
you
that.
shouldn't be doing
Why
that.
are you doing that? Because they will. Because it's different than what they're not used to.
And you know what? speaking is scary to a lot of people. It just
Right.
is,
Matter of
right?
fact, isn't that the number one thing?
Over, I think.
Everything.
Like-
Walking on fire or
What was it? Falling off a building, burning in a building.
falling. One of them.
One of them.
Yes.
Public speaking in
number
front
one.
of people. That's what public
Yeah.
speaking is, right?
Yes.
Speaking in front of people, one or more people, right? That's not on your couch talking to a friend or your child or your spouse. The fear of public speaking is the number one fear, right?
Yes.
So what does that mean though? For those that step out, that is also the biggest reward.
It is.
Biggest, because not everybody's willing to do it.
Nope.
So
No way.
there is a payoff there.
They'll run quick.
You've got to get through, the crappy, challenging times to
will.
be able to come out to the other side.
Yes,
But
empowerment. You can do it.
if you make it a game with yourself, though, and just have fun with it, keep score. Okay,
Yes.
today I spoke about this topic
Yep.
for this many minutes. How did I feel?
Yes.
How did I do?
Yes.
What did I do well? What can I do better at this more improved?
And
Watch
social
it back.
media. And they could be sending your message to social media also.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can watch from there, but you're also giving information and you're getting that practice and those reps in.
That brings up a great point. Is
Yes.
another way to speak is to speak on camera, right? That is speaking. You're getting yourself
Yes.
more
Your message.
acclimated to putting out your message into words onto something people can see, right?
Yes.
So even if you're not on a stage, you can just speak into your phone and start
Yes,
putting
and
it out
just
there,
start talking.
getting your message out there.
Yes.
Because the more that you verbalize, the more that you get out of your head
They'll start
and
knowing
get it
you.
out there,
Yes.
you're going to start becoming known for that. Plus,
You will.
you're then going to be getting on more stages. It's
Yes.
a whole culmination of
Symbiotic
things, and it works
togetherness.
together. So just
Yes.
the main thing with this is get out there. Right? Don't be afraid. Don't
No.
let your mind, trick you or pull you down or push you back and say,
Yeah.
oh, no, that's not for you. Hell to.
Those
Get
negative
out there.
thoughts, get them out of there.
Right. Get
Yep.
out there and just and the more that you do, the
Yes.
more that you're going to prove to yourself that,
Yeah, I can do this.
you can do this,
Yes,
right?
I spoke all week.
Right.
Yes.
Pick up the phone, talk to people. Record yourself, talk to people. Stand up, talk to people. You
There
need
you
to
go.
always be looking, how can I get out there and spread my message more? Whether it's a
Yes.
60-second clip, whether it's a 60-minute conversation,
That's right.
whether you stand up and give.
Or interviewing somebody else.
Yeah, it's conversation, right? Information. The more that you can be a source of information and your knowledge from your expertise, from your skill set, that is how you get out there and you continue to grow. And then you're gonna see, if you look back 6 months from now, and then you look back, and then you go from a year and you look back, you're like, wow, okay, I'm making progress. I'm getting
Yes.
closer to the person I know that I can be, the speaker that I want to be, so that you can have the events that you want to have, so that you
Yes.
can continue to fulfill on your mission. You can
so
spread
keep going
your
and
mission
going
out
and
there.
going.
And that's what we talk about all the time. How can you have
Yes.
an impactful and profitable event? Well, it
Right.
comes from speaking.
Speaking. Yes, getting
Right?
on stages.
I mean, if you're going to have an event,
or your own.
you got to speak somewhere to someone about
Yes.
something, right?
Yep.
So you got to have the where, you got to have the who, and you got to have the what, right?
right.
So where are you speaking? Who are you speaking to? And what are you speaking on? And
Yes.
those are the main things. Once you have that, then do more of that. Get
Yes.
better at that.
Yeah,
And then
and
you're
you
going to
will,
see your
just by
confidence
practice.
grow.
And
You're going to
build.
speak more.
Yes.
And then it's like you have a message, shout it from the rooftops and get it
There
out
you
there
go.
for more people to hear you.
Yep. Perfect.
All right. So today, that's our message.
That's it.
to you is get out there and spread your message. Rehearse,
We want your light.
review, revise, shine your light. No
Get
matter
out there
where
more.
you are, no matter what you're doing, you can be doing more. You can be
Always.
getting out there more. You can be honing your craft and getting your skill set more so that you can
There
go
you
out
go.
there and be more impactful
Yep.
with your events or with your message or with your calling.
Perfect.
So remember, it only takes an instant to make an impact, and we will talk to you guys soon. Have an awesome day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.